Have you ever dropped a penny and not bothered to pick it up? Well, you might want to start bending down. Because one specific 1955 wheat penny, yes, the humble copper coin you probably haven't looked at in years, sold for over $1.1 million at auction. Let that sink in. 1 cent. A coin so common most people walk past it in the street. But this one? It wasn't just rare. It was legendary. And someone who knew exactly what to look for walked away with a check most of us will only dream about. In the next few minutes, you're going to find out why the 1955 wheat penny is one of the most valuable era coins in U.S. history, what makes it so special, and how to tell if you've got one in your own pocket, piggy bank, or a coin jar. This is not a myth. This is not some collector fantasy. This is real. Let's go back to the year 1955. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. Disneyland was opening its gates. Rock and roll was exploding. And at the Philadelphia Mint, something incredible happened during the production of the Lincoln wheat cent. A die misalignment during the minting process created a dramatic and unmistakable double die obverse, a doubling of the image on the front of the coin so bold, even a casual glance can spot it. The words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear with ghost-like shadows. The date 1955 looks like it's vibrating. And just like that, one of the most famous mint errors in U.S. history was born. Known as the 1955 double die wheat penny, this coin immediately gained legendary status. Only around 24,000 of them were released before the mint caught the error. Most entered circulation in the Boston area and were mixed in with cigarette vending machine change. Yes, you could have gotten one as change for a smoke. But here is where things get really exciting. In pristine, mint-state condition, a 1955 double die penny is almost impossible to find. Most were circulated, used, scratched, pocketed, and forgotten. But a few, just a few, escaped untouched. And one of those, graded MS65 read by PCGS, made history when it sold for a jaw-dropping $1,125,000 at auction. That's 1 cent turned into over $1 million. Now imagine this. You've got an old drawer of pennies from your grandparents. You're sorting through them. You find one with a 1955 date. You flip it under a bright light and see something strange. The letters look doubled. The numbers seem blurry. Your heart skips a beat. That's how it starts. That's how people find them. Not in vaults or museums, but in ordinary homes. In junk drawers. In flea market bins. In forgotten coin albums. So what should you look for? Start with the obverse, the front of the coin. The doubling will be clearest in the word liberty and in the date itself. The second 5 in 1955 often shows a ghost image offset slightly to the left. This isn't a minor error. It's bold, dramatic, and easy to see with the naked eye. Next, check the coin's color and condition. Red copper pennies, those that still have their original mint luster, are worth more than dark or brown versions. And if your coin is uncirculated, meaning no scratches or wear, you could be sitting on 6 figures or more. But even circulated examples of the 1955 double die have sold for $10,000 to $50,000, depending on their condition. That's life-changing money for a coin most people never think twice about. The key is authentication. If you find a 1955 penny that looks promising, don't try to clean it. Don't list it on eBay for $100. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification can make or break your payday. And here's something most people don't know, there are counterfeits out there. A lot of them. But trained graders can spot the real deal, and once certified, your coin becomes part of an elite group of historical artifacts. Collectors aren't just paying for a coin. They're paying for a piece of minting history, a numismatic accident that captured a moment in time. A moment that slipped past quality control, made it into the hands of smokers and soda drinkers, and now sits in auction rooms commanding 6 and 7 figures. This isn't just a penny. It's $1 million mistake. And right now, you might be closer to it than you think. So here's your next step. Pull out those old penny jars. Check the date. Hold every 1955 penny under the light. If the numbers look strange, if the letters appear doubled, don't ignore it. That little copper coin could be your key to early retirement. Now let's talk about what sets the 1955 double die apart from all other error coins in U.S. history: visibility. Most mint errors are subtle. You need a magnifying glass. You need training. But this one? Even a casual observer can spot the doubling. That's part of what made it so legendary, and so desirable. When word first got out in the late 1950s, collectors swarmed local banks trying to find more. Cigarette vending machines, laundromats, and even diners became hotspots as people traded quarters for rolls of pennies, hoping to stumble across this copper miracle. But here's the kicker: many people did find them. And then spent them anyway, thinking they were misprints or fake. That means dozens, maybe hundreds, were lost forever in vending machines, toll booths, or parking meters. Painful, isn't it? Today, collectors are on high alert. A confirmed 1955 double die, even in worn condition, can be worth more than your car. In mint condition? It can buy you a house. But most Americans wouldn't recognize it even if they were holding it in their hand. That's why this isn't just a coin. It's a lesson in awareness. In spotting value where others see junk. In paying attention to the details that most people miss. Even if your 1955 penny isn't the famous double die, some wheat pennies from that era still hold value. Coins with misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or even lamination cracks, errors in the metal, can sell for hundreds of dollars, especially if preserved well. And here's something else that might surprise you: some of the most valuable versions weren't pulled from circulation. They came from sealed mint sets, unopened for decades, discovered in estate sales and basements. If your grandparents collected coins in the 50s, it might be time to dust off those boxes. Collectors love coins with a story, and the 1955 double die has one of the best. A genuine accident at the Philadelphia Mint. A few hours of error. A flood of coins into public hands. And decades later? A legend in copper. But here's where it gets intense. Because some experts believe that a few uncirculated rolls of 1955 double die pennies are still out there, completely untouched. They may be sitting in an old military footlocker, a retirement home drawer, or a forgotten safety deposit box. If one of those surfaces and the coins inside are all MS-66 or better, the value could shatter existing records. That's what keeps collectors up at night. That's what drives them to flea markets, estate auctions, and coin shows. The chance that one small copper coin could change everything. And it's not just nostalgia. The coin market is booming. As investors look for safer places to park their money, rare coins are becoming high-end assets. They're stable. They're historical. And they're limited by nature. You can't just print more. That means the 1955 double die isn't just a collector's trophy. It's a hedge. An investment. A time capsule. And when a new example comes to light, especially in high-grade, bidding wars break out. Let's get deeper. The record-breaking penny that sold for $1.1 million wasn't just lucky. It was certified by PCGS as MS-65 red. That's nearly flawless. Bold strike. Deep red luster. No carbon spots. No fingerprints. Just pure, uncirculated copper brilliance. That coin didn't survive because of chance. It survived because someone, somewhere, recognized it, and preserved it for decades. Will you do the same if you find one? So how do you verify your coin? Start with natural light. Rotate the coin slowly. Check the date and the word Liberty. If you see any shadowing, any doubling, or distortion, get it checked. A basic scale and a magnifier can help, but the most powerful tool is your attention. Then, once you spot a possible match, your next move is critical. Don't clean it. Don't rub it. Don't polish it. Those surface flaws, even tiny ones, can drop the value by thousands. Handle it by the edges. Place it in a coin flip or soft pouch. and then send it in for grading. It could take weeks to hear back, but that envelope from P. Have you ever held a Washington quarter in your hand and thought, just another 25 cents? What if I told you that one specific 1980 Washington quarter, a coin that probably passed through countless vending machines, sold for over $1 million at auction? Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter from 1980, the year The Empire Strikes Back ruled the box office and Pac-Man was unleashed on the world, just changed someone's life forever. While most people keep scrolling past their change without a second thought, a few lucky individuals have turned their pocket change into pure gold. The only difference? Knowledge. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to check your own quarters, and what makes the 1980 quarter so incredibly valuable to elite collectors. Let's rewind the tape to 1980. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco struck millions of quarters featuring the iconic image of George Washington on the obverse. At first glance, the 1980 quarter looks just like any other. It's not silver, not rare by mintage, and certainly not flashy. So why didn't one version of it break records and sell for more than most people's retirement accounts? Here's the twist, it wasn't about what it looked like. It was about what went wrong during its creation. The most valuable 1980 Washington quarter wasn't struck in silver, wasn't gold-plated, and didn't belong to a special collector's set. Instead, it was struck on the wrong planchet, a rare mint error that caused the coin to be created using metal meant for another denomination. In this case, experts believe it was struck on a Susan B. Anthony dollar planchet, giving it a unique appearance, slightly larger diameter, and completely unexpected composition. Combine that mistake with the fact that the coin remained in near-perfect condition, graded MS68 by PCGS, and you've got a recipe for a once-in-a-generation treasure. When it went up for auction at Heritage Auctions, collectors knew this was no ordinary coin. The final sale price? $1,085,000. Yes. One quarter. Over $1 million. Let that sink in for a second. You could be holding that coin in your change jar, in your glove box, or buried in an old sock drawer. And the best part? You don't need to be a seasoned collector to find it, you just need to know what to look for. First, check the mint mark. The most valuable 1980 quarters were minted in Philadelphia, meaning you might see no mint mark at all, common for the era. But the magic isn't in the mark. It's in the error. Flip the coin under good lighting. Look at the size and weight. A standard 1980 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. But if yours feels heavier or lighter, or if the edges look different, smoother, or with fewer ridges, you might be holding a planchet error. Next, look for striking issues, double-die obvious errors, off-center designs, or visible doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Even a slight doubling on George Washington's face could mean the difference between 25 cents and a $25,000 payout. But here is where most people blow it, they don't get the coin graded. A rare coin with a valuable error is meaningless without professional authentication. Services like PCGS or NGC can certify the coin's error and assign it a grade. That grade is everything. It's what separates a lucky find from a 6- or 7-figure payday. And don't forget, never clean your coin. Not even a gentle rub with a cloth. Cleaning can instantly destroy its surface, and with it, the value. Now, let's talk about the collectors. Elite numismatists, the big players in the coin world, aren't just looking for rare coins. They're chasing stories, errors, and perfection. And when a 1980 quarter with an impossible error shows up in mint state condition, they'll pay anything to own it. This isn't just coin collecting anymore. It's high-stakes investment. And while some people dream about winning the lottery, others are already cashing in on forgotten quarters tucked away in old drawers. The only difference between them and you? They knew what to look for. Now so do you. So what's your next move? Grab a scale. Get a magnifying glass. Dig through those coins you've been ignoring for years. Look for that 1980 Washington quarter, especially those with odd weight, odd color, strange metal, or suspicious doubling. And if something looks off, don't dismiss it. That flawed coin might just be your $1,000,000 opportunity. But here's what makes the 1980 quarter even more fascinating. Most people never gave it a second glance. After all, it wasn't made of silver, it didn't come in a fancy set, and it didn't have a commemorative label. It was just a quarter. Ordinary, right? Not even close. Because among those ordinary coins, a few extraordinary errors occurred, errors that turned one of the most common coins in American pockets into one of the rarest in numismatic history. One coin. One slip-up. $1,000,000 opportunity. Let's dig into the types of errors that made collectors go wild. The most valuable 1980 quarter discovered to date was struck on a Susan B. Anthony dollar planchet, a metal blank meant for a completely different coin. That means it had the wrong size, wrong weight, and wrong metallic composition. Imagine the chaos that caused. The press wasn't calibrated for that planchet, yet the coin came out nearly flawless. Not only was it a stunning error, it was aesthetic perfection, with bold features, a sharp rim, and gleaming surfaces that screamed mint-state quality. Even seasoned coin graders were stunned. The odds of such an error making it through quality control, then circulation, then surviving without wear, virtually zero. That's what made it so valuable. That's why collectors didn't blink when bidding soared past $1,000,000. But it's not just the Susan B. Anthony planchet you should look for. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and especially double-die obvious errors are all confirmed from the 1980 quarter run. Each of these can raise the value of your coin from cents to thousands of dollars. Take a broad strike, for example. If your coin appears slightly wider than usual, or the reeded edges are missing, it could be a broad strike. That alone, if uncirculated, can make your quarter worth hundreds to thousands of dollars. Now think about this, even circulated versions with rare errors have sold for 4 and 5 figures. That means even a quarter that's been through a few pockets might still be worth enough to pay your bills for a month, or more. The secret is condition, yes, but also rarity and collector demand. Right now, the coin market is red hot. With inflation and economic uncertainty, investors are looking at tangible assets, and rare coins are becoming prized collectibles, and even part of investment portfolios. And 1980? That's a sweet spot. Not too old to be unattainable. Not too new to be boring. It's recent enough that millions of these coins still exist, but rare enough that true mint errors are now commanding jaw-dropping prices. So let me ask you, when was the last time you actually checked your quarters? Not just glanced at them, but weighed them, inspected their edges, checked for doubling or off-center features? Because every week, someone else finds one. A misprint, an odd strike, a wrong metal. And while they're mailing it off for grading, researching auction sites, and fielding 5-figure offers, the rest of the world is still using quarters for parking meters. You don't need to be a numismatist. You just need curiosity and a bit of patience. A scale, a magnifying glass, good lighting, and maybe a cup of coffee and an hour of your time. And let's not forget, the US Mint isn't perfect. Despite their massive quality control systems, coins like this still get through. It's not about if there's another 1980 planchet error out there. It's about who will find it first. That person could be you. The next coin show could feature your quarter. The next auction record could have your name behind it. You just have to start looking. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore. It's a hunt. A puzzle. A test of observation. And for those who succeed, it's also a source of serious financial reward. This isn't about luck, it's about knowledge and timing. Because that rare 1980 quarter wasn't just found by chance. It was recognized. And that's the difference. Anyone can find a coin. But only those who know what to look for can turn it into treasure.